All right, what up, what up, what up? It's your boy Austin coming back at you from Busted Trap Studios. This is episode 27 of Unfiltered Banter. There is no banter. It is just me this week again. We have officially been broken out to it is just us solo dolo for the time being. Have a few people worked out in the works. Lil Logan from one of our earlier episodes maybe pulling up soon. If the old lady will allow him to work that out. We've got my own personal Alex Jones, Ethan. He may very well be pulling up very soon as well. Again, we're gonna work on Duncan, Robbie, Lisa, my aunt and uncle. They want to come on, so again, we're working through that right now. Been a pretty lackluster week. Christmas went kind of bad. Had a family member in the hospital. Hung out with my dad, seen my nephew, really just kind of did the basic stuff. With that, I'm probably just going to jump right into it. These episodes are probably just going to be short and sweet and me covering kind of the topics. If there's something that kind of confuses me or aggravates me about the world, I'll put it here. Only because I'm going to continue doing this until I either find another partner or something better comes along. Jumping right into it, football has been really good this week. Going back to last week, we've obviously had plenty of bowl games. Going back to we'll go Tuesday. Minnesota played Bowling Green, Minnesota in the Quick Lane Bowl. Minnesota won 30-24. Texas State beat Rice 45-21. From what I understand about that game is Texas State sold more tickets than, it was like 21,000 tickets, and they sold out of their half of the stadium's alcohol, and then they ended up selling out the other half, the opponent's half of the stadium, on alcohol as well. So it's a lot of alcohol. We've also got Kansas UNLV. Kansas beat UNLV 49-36. Then on Wednesday, Virginia Tech played Tulane in the Military Bowl presented by Go Bowling. Virginia Tech won 41-20. North Carolina played West Virginia in the Duke's Mayo Bowl. West Virginia just kind of ran away with that. There was a sick one-handed snag by a West Virginia middle linebacker, I want to say it was. Also, the holder took off up the middle for like a 30-yard gain. So that was a pretty good game. McAfee tweeted about it the entire time. USC beat Louisville 42-28. USC's quarterback, I'll pull his name up. It's Miller Moss, threw for 6 touchdowns. His total stat line was 23 of 33 for 372, 6 touchdowns, and 1 interception. So, kind of went off as the backup. Now, granted, again, he's the backup, and he played a Louisville team. We don't know this, that, and a third, so we'll see. Oklahoma State beat Texas A&M 31-23. On Thursday, SMU played Boston and won 23-2. SMU played Boston College. Boston College won 23-14. That was the Wasabi Fenway Bowl. Rutgers played Miami in the Bad Boy Mowers Pinstripe Bowl. Rutgers won 31-24. Kansas State played North Carolina State in the Pop-Tarts Bowl on Thursday, and Kansas State won 28-19. They had like an edible. The Pop-Tart thing was very odd. It was. Arizona played Oklahoma in the Valero Alamo Bowl. Arizona came out on top 38-24. And then on Friday, our early game was Clemson versus Kentucky in the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl. Clemson was getting beat for most of that game, and then they turned it on and ended up winning 38-35. The Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl seen Notre Dame and Oregon State play each other. Notre Dame walked away with it 40-8. The AutoZone Liberty Bowl, Memphis won that. It was Memphis versus Iowa State. Memphis won 36-26. And then last night in the Goodyear Cotton Bowl, Missouri beat Ohio State 14-3. Big notes about that game is Ohio State looked pretty bad, and their quarterback was wearing number 33 because he's a Semi-Baugh fan, for whatever the fuck that means. Going on today, we've got Ole Miss beat Penn State in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, 38-25. Maryland beat Auburn in the TransPerfect Music City Bowl, 31-13. And right now, the Barstool Sports Arizona Bowl is going on. It's at halftime. Toledo is up 10-6 on Wyoming. And just getting back from half is the Georgia-Florida State game. Georgia is up 42-3 on Florida State. This game is being walked away with. I kind of had a feeling it would be walked away with. Florida State's still without their quarterback. They're playing a Georgia team that's pissed off and hungry. It looks like Georgia's got their backup in, so they're going to get ran away with, and then all you're going to hear for the next week is Georgia should have been in, Georgia should have been in, this proves Florida State shouldn't have, Georgia should have been in, why are we not doing a 12-team playoff, why are we not doing a 12-team playoff? So that's basically all you're going to hear for the next probably 6 months until next season starts. Coming up this weekend, we've got some good games. Well, I guess there's no games tomorrow on Sunday, obviously. But on Monday, Tennessee kicks off against Iowa at 1 p.m. on ABC. And then we've got LSU, Wisconsin. Actually, I guess the early game is on ESPN, and it's LSU, Wisconsin, the ReliaQuest Bowl. And then Tennessee plays Iowa in the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl. Liberty plays Oregon in the Verbo Fiesta Bowl. Michigan plays Alabama in the Rose Bowl, obviously. And Texas plays Washington for the late game in the All-State Sugar Bowl. And then on Monday, January 8th, so that'll be something we talk about then and kind of break down, because I plan to watch both the Alabama-Michigan game and the Texas-Washington game that are going to be on. Obviously, our allegiance lies with the Vols. We're going to go Vols all day. Come out this week that Joe Milton is not going to play. He's going to prepare for the draft. He did get invited to the Senior Bowl, so he's going to prepare for the draft, and Nico Amalava is going to start for us. Also, both of our running backs have decided not to play, so Dylan Sampson is going to get the start. I'm excited about both. My biggest takeaway here is I don't want fans to automatically just say, oh, Nico had a bad game, or Nico this, or Nico that, if Nico has a bad game. I'm not expecting that to happen, because I think Nico is a really good quarterback. He shows me shades of Hendon Hooker with the way he moves. So I'm very much for that. The thing I'm not for is everyone automatically bashing him if he does have a bad game, because he's a freshman. He's taken very few snaps as a freshman, and Iowa's got a really good defense. I mean, they were in the Big Ten championship, if I'm not mistaken. So it's one of those things, like, granted, if you watch them play, they look bad, and I always see us play Big Ten teams, but I'm not going in here saying, oh, we need to not worry. We need to just play it cool, keep our head straight, and be good. I think that we can win the ball game. I think Nico is the answer, but I don't want everyone automatically just saying, oh my God, we need to start some else, because there is nobody else. I'm sorry, but Gaston Moore and David Schuler aren't the answers. And then we have a guy coming in, Jake Merlinger, I do believe his name is, and we can't automatically force the next freshman to start. We also don't need to hit the transfer portal and find the next best thing, because if that's what we wanted, we've already done that. Cam Ward's out there still, and we could have offered Cam Ward money, and we did. So I think it was cool. You know, cooler heads will prevail. Hold your horses, and we'll get there. I don't think, will Nico be our long-term answer? I think so. I think Nico has got 2 or 3 really good years that he could put together here at UT and do some good things under Heupel's offense with the way I've seen him play and the way I know he can play. It's also projected that we're going to probably get the Stewart kid out of Texas A&M. I'm very excited for that. Seems like he's a really good receiver, and, you know, just add depth at that position. And Nico doesn't throw the ball as hard, so hopefully our receivers won't know if any drops. That's fingers crossed. That's all I really got to cover there for college football. Jump into the NFL. Joe Flacco is going off. Joe Flacco is running away with things. Let's put it this way. He was brought in by the Browns, obviously, and is just done his thing. They're on the Browns are 11-5 on the season, second in the AFC North. They're very high in the AFC overall with the 11-5 record. But like the other night, for instance, I want to say at halftime, overall he had 309, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception for the game. But I want to say at like halftime he had like most of that. They were running. The Browns won 37-20. So I didn't get to watch any of the game, but from the highlights and the things that I've seen, it was a really good game. Amari Cooper was out, but like for instance, last Sunday, this was the Thursday night game. Last Sunday, the Browns played. Let me pull this up here. The Browns played the Texans, and Flacco threw for 368, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, but he threw for 265 yards on 11 receptions for 265 yards is what Amari Cooper put up. That's amazing numbers. Connor calls it footsteps Flacco. He's doing some things back there in the pocket. It looks good. I'm shout out to Flacco. Welcome back to the league. Glad you're not a worn-out old man and you can still get it done. Pretty excited to see what the Browns do. Very interested in seeing what the Browns do. They have the Bengals left. Obviously, the Bengals are floating on whether or not they're going to make the playoffs. So we'll come to that nugget as we get closer to the playoffs. We've got last week's games, kind of run through those. Steelers beat the Bengals. Bills beat the Chargers, which those were both on when we were recording. Seahawks beat the Titans. Cowboys got beat by the Dolphins. I'm trying to figure out here. Cowboys got beat by the Dolphins. Patriots beat the Broncos. Browns beat the Texans. Jets beat the Commanders. Falcons beat the Colts. Packers beat the Panthers. Lions beat the Vikings. Buccaneers beat the Jaguars. Bears beat the Cardinals. And then on Monday, the Raiders beat the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes looks like he's lost it. He's no one to throw to. Eagles beat the Giants, but that game was really close. Tyrod Taylor's back and is looking really nice again. Tyrod Taylor's a good quarterback. He's just never been given a true chance, in my opinion. And then the Ravens beat the shit out of the 49ers on Monday night. So the Ravens are probably your odds-on favorite at making the Super Bowl right now, at least out of the AFC and probably overall as the whole league. Again, I'm not a betting man. I could probably pull odds, but I don't have time for that. I look forward to some games for the week. The Cowboys play the Lions tonight. The Lions have clinched the playoff. They've already clinched their division, if I'm not mistaken. Let me double check here. Yeah, Lions win first division title since 1993. So they're playing the Cowboys, who the Cowboys are looking to bounce back after losing, but the Cowboys are 7-0 at home, and they're at home, and that's tonight at 8:15. I will turn that on and watch it while I'm playing 2K, because I did buy 2K, and I've been playing lots of 2K. Kind of okay with the season this year. NFL, other things. The biggest thing is the Broncos have benched Russell Wilson. Apparently he was come to and said, hey, your options are this, this, and this. If you don't, and it's basically all about money. They're not wanting to pay him because they're mediocre. They're not going to win a Super Bowl, which means the market, like obviously their market's down, so they're not getting a whole big bunch of people wanting to come to the games or want to spend money on jerseys or any of those things. You know, I kind of feel for it, but I've never thought Russell was good. He had one good season and a good scheme with a good defense, and this is where we're at now. They owe him like $37 million or something like that if he can't pass a physical, if he passes a physical or can't pass a physical by next season. NFLPA is involved. I'll come closer to that when we jump more into it and can figure those things out. Other big game I look for this week, Raiders Colts, because the Raiders are on a hot streak. The Colts they're both trying to make the playoff, win themselves into the playoffs. Same with the Saints Bucks. They're both trying to win themselves to the playoffs. The Bucks look good, and then look bad, and then look good again. Seahawks Steelers is another one where they're trying to get in the playoffs. The Chiefs Bengals this week, honestly, too. I mean, I don't know that the Chiefs would be eliminated from playoff contention, but they would definitely be a lower seed in the playoffs, which will take away their home field advantage, which is a positive for them because they're playing in Arrowhead, and Arrowhead's so cold. And if they're a lower seed, then they're not going to get any chance at being at home at all. So looking for the whirlpool for the Bengals there. Chargers, Broncos, no one really cares. I do know that I don't even know who's getting the start for Denver. And then on Sunday Night Football, we get Packers, Vikings, both teams who are just trying to win and be good. I'm assuming to try to get into the playoffs. Standings-wise, yeah, like I said, the Dolphins have already clinched. The Bills are trying. Eagles and Cowboys have already clinched. The Lions have clinched. No one from the NFC South has done anything. NFC West, the San Francisco 49ers are already in. The San Francisco 49ers clinched their division. Same with the Lions. And then in the AFC, the Ravens have clinched their playoff spot. And then obviously, depending on what happens with the Browns, we'll decide on whether or not they clinch the division. The AFC West is still up in a toss-up. Like I said, the Chiefs have not clinched, so basically the teams have been eliminated. The Giants and the Commanders have already been eliminated. Apparently the Bears still might be in it because they haven't been eliminated yet, so interesting there. Let's see, we'll move over into NCAA men's basketball. Has kind of been off for Christmas and the holidays, so there's nothing really major going on there. NBA, there is a trade that happened today. So the NBA trade deadline on the horizon. The market is starting to heat up. The popular name in trade talks has been dealt. After relative quiet following the blockbuster trade of James Harden and the Philadelphia 76ers to the Clippers in late October, there's been another shakeup in the association after the New York Knicks acquired forward OG Anunoby and Precious Achiuwa and guard Malachi Flynn from the Toronto Raptors in exchange for the guard Emmanuel Quickley, forward RJ Barrett, and a 2024 second-round pick via Detroit. Also, we'll jump into that in a minute. Never mind. Could the addition of an all-defensive second-team winning wing in Anunoby impact the Knicks' hopes? It's a good trade, I feel like. RJ Barrett's been kind of iffy. I feel like RJ Barrett and Anunoby are on the same. Anunoby's a little bit better because he's done a little more. It says here that they're giving the Knicks an A for the trade and the Raptors a C. I don't know that RJ Barrett's the answer, but pretty sure RJ Barrett's from Canada, so you're kind of returning somebody back home that wants to be home. And who knows? I mean, I feel like they're missing their big key piece up there, but Pascal Siakam's just not going to do it for them. Also, the Detroit Pistons now hold the record for the most losses in a season and the lowest percentage in a season. They've lost 28 straight games and are probably headed towards 29 because they're playing the Raptors right now in the first and they're down. So they might break it or not. Let's see where that goes. Other big news. Wemby sits out. We'll miss the next few back-to-backs. Looks like, is that Goran Dragic has retired? Goran Dragic is retired after 15 seasons. Ja Morant came back, has been putting on a show. He did a gun motion to the crowd. Everybody's up in arms. It is what it is. Fuck over it. They all shoot guns. They all play. They all act stupid. It is what it is. It's fucking not that big a deal. This animation is not an issue. I don't care who does it. Everyone's on Jaw's ass. It's like Bever's favorite thing to do. So it's a lot. It just doesn't make any sense. Kind of see talks here. Looks like don't have another good fight coming up. The Strickland Duplessis, but we're looking at another month for that. Hopefully, maybe we can have Logan on before that happens, and he can kind of break down kind of the ins and outs of that. Tennessee women's basketball is on a losing skid. They're now unranked and just kind of dropped down, and I don't know what's going on there. Maybe our coach is back on the hot seat again, which sucks because I don't know what we're going to do. I want to say we covered the Jake Paul in the Olympics. I definitely think I covered that. Sports are it's going to start slowing down. Sports are going to get to the point where it's just basketball, and I'm not a basketball analyst. So I'm going to do my best to try to get world topics from around and just kind of go into stuff like that. Still obviously go into football. We've got NFL at least until February. So that's a plus. And then college basketball will pop off. So we'll get into like a college basketball skid where you'll hear me in here screaming about the Vols because we're back in the top, I think we're in the top 10, if not the top 8 in the men's. And we're about to hit the SEC play. So we'll get on to that. Maybe even try to hit a game. Kind of see what happens there. World news and news from around. I want to say Kourtney Kardashian had her baby, which I think is Travis Barker. I'm not really sure how any of that works. No, not really sure who's with what and what's with who, but we'll hit the old X and see what we got going on X. Basically, your top trending things on X. For me, Georgia, Bama, Florida State, the Knicks, the Arizona Bowl by Barstool. Colorado had told Trump that he wasn't allowed to be put on ballots, and now they put him back, and then Maine's putting him on. They're saying it had something to do with his insurrection, his involvement in the insurrection. I don't really believe that. I think it's just a way for them to try to have him not run again, because they don't want that to be in office, which it is what it is. Trump smells like ass is trending currently, which is hilarious. But then also Trump 2024 America is also trending. Oh, also it says Nixon is trending. I don't know why Nixon's trending because he's been dead for a while. Let's see here. I've heard good reviews about Iron Claw. By the time that we get back on, that I'll be back on to record, I will have seen the movie because my plans are to go see it within the next week. If not, see it this weekend while I'm off. So I'm definitely interested in that. I saw some things online where they're pushing the Iron... I'll pull it up. The Iron Man spinoff. Ironheart is finished filming in late 22, but won't premiere until 2025. It says Ironheart began filming in summer of 22 and finished by November, initially scheduled for late 23 release. Now an update from Disney Plus on their 2024 Marvel releases leaves off Ironheart, indicating it may not prepare until 2025 or even later. After speaking with the homie Casey online about it, I think it's all got to do with money and kind of the same thing you always hear is, well, we needed a write-off and we needed to be able to prove this and prove that. So that's kind of where we're at. I know that Disney is in like a lull right now with kind of the way things are going because of some of the stuff that's been going on. They're not really hitting the numbers on their movies and getting the pub that they want from their movies. And a lot of people say it's got to do with the fact that there's like a female head of Disney or something like that that's like pulling the strings, and she wants all female cast and wants more female based, and that may be fine. I don't have any idea. That may well be the case. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, it may be because they're women based. It may just be because they're not making as good of movies. So hopefully they turn it around, because those movies were great. Charlemagne the God said that there's some things like bring back in X-Men, take X-Men and make them on a different planet and do some stuff like that, which sounds interesting. And then they could come together and have a big movie about the war and all that. I'm interested to see how that turns out, because I like watching movies. And I want those movies to be good. Obviously, to cover it, because this is not going to stop. Gypsy Rose Blanchard has been released from prison. She's famous for having her special needs boyfriend kill her mom, because her mom was like giving her Munchausen by proxy, so making her sit in a wheelchair, shaving her head, causing her to lose her teeth, giving her drugs she didn't need. It just came out here that Gypsy Rose has been ordered to leave the state of Missouri. It says Gypsy had bought tickets to Sunday's Chiefs game in hopes of meeting Taylor Swift at Arrowhead. It says Gypsy Rose has been ordered to leave despite her plans to meet Taylor Swift at the Chiefs game. We were told this might be because of security risk her continued presence might present. GRB, as they call her, has become a local celebrity during her brief time in town, taking photos with fans and stopping and chatting with Paps and that have been hounding her. She's also recording like a TV show for Lifetime. So this woman's going to be all over everything. You guys better buckle the fuck up, get ready, because you're going to see nothing but fucking Gypsy Rose Blanchard all over everything for the next 6 months, if not more. So again, it is what it is. I don't care, but you know, it's something to talk about. It's topical. Um, 3 hour goes breaking. It looks like the defensive coordinator of Colorado may be leaving. So, big thing about the Joe Flacco thing that's pulled up on my end is he's 79 yards away from passing Johnny Manziel on the most passing yards by a Brown, which is funny because Manziel was like their highly touted draft pick. That's pretty funny. I mean, Johnny was good, and look, he didn't do anything. Also, some good news. It looks like Lonzo Ball is walking again without pain. So maybe he returns to the league. Maybe he doesn't. And I'm sure that the fans of Chicago would want him to come back, but he may not. Let's see. Looks like actor Tom Wilkinson died from the Full Monty. He also played Carmine Falcone in Batman Begins. Interesting there. A lot of it's just Brady. A lot of world news is just basically kind of BS. I mean, I don't want to show you the. Show you anything hateful going on. Oh, looks like huge waves hit California coast for third day, bringing in flood and life-threatening. Guys, you live in California. You can clearly see that they're not set up for anything crazy to happen because they've shoved a bunch more people there than it was ever expected to live there. It is what it is. Get over it. Get out. Don't come to Tennessee. And if you do come to Tennessee, expect us to be hateful to you because you think this is the fucking West Coast, and it's not. Obviously, stuff's still going on Israel Hamas. I'm not your top political pundit to be speaking on those matters, so I will not continue to speak on those matters. I know that there's a lot of fucking crazy things going on, so we just kind of, keep hope that they decide to stop fighting. Jermaine Jackson's being sued for allegedly sexually assaulting a woman in '88, which is crazy. Looks like there's not really much else that I can see that's going on. Kind of just leave it there. I've not really watched anything good other than Reacher, which has kind of been all over everything. Got some big car content planned things coming up, guys. I just kind of jump back into that. Been talking with my dad, and we're working on some big things there. That's the thing I know best, is how to record and help him, and that's the things I love more than anything, is talking about cars and being around cars. And I will have more people on that know cars and want to talk about cars, and we will do those. But I think after watching some more stuff and after some thinking about it, I think that's where this will go. That's 100%. This is going to be this. Busted Truck Studios is going to be this right here for Unfiltered Banter. And then it will also be car content. And we may even open up a car content page that's directed towards just more car content work stuff, for like a secondary page. But no, we've got a lot of stuff planned for the spring. As soon as we can get through this kind of harsh winter we're having, where it's like 50 degrees outside and it's like 30 at night, it's not even really that bad. I think that you guys hopefully will like that. I also look to start doing TikTok content. As bad as I hate to, I'm not gonna be on there dancing and acting stupid. That's not me. That's not what I'll do. You'll probably hear a lot of rants, a lot of opinions on things from me. If you want to hear them, cool. If you don't, fuck off. I'm gonna give them anyway. So there's that. My biggest ask is that you like, you subscribe, you share. You help me kind of grow. You help me find guests. We need to get to the point where we can get guests. If you have recommendations, you want somebody to come on, you want to share with us. I'm looking for artists to do something on the back wall back here. Obviously, there's going to be some of your main stuff. Stone Cold's going to stay, but some of your stuff in the middle can be moved. I think we're going to, again, like I said, we're going to change up the shape of the room. But I wouldn't mind having a mural or something painted on the back wall. Kind of come and give you free reign. I got some ideas on some people for that. So if you know anybody, you send them my way and we'll see what we can get worked out. My biggest ask is to stay tuned. Like, subscribe, share, follow on all socials. If you like car content, be prepared. If you don't like car content, stay tuned for the vlogs, and stay tuned for the other vlogs and for the podcast, because I plan on having people that come on can talk about anything. Also, if you have any ideas, want to push them my way, something you want to run by, somebody with the cameras never let you do, something you've always wanted to do, you needed help, I'll gladly be a cameraman. I'll gladly be a secondary man as a content creator for you and your work. At this point, I'm just trying to help everybody get to what they want out of anything they've been wanting to try. So with that being said, this has been episode 27 of Busted Trap Studios, and Happy New Year, because you might be watching this after New Year, and stay tuned for next week's episode. Peace.